show today. We have a lot of things to talk about. We have had a exciting, so to speak, week with a lot of developments. But as usual, this is a forum for us to exchange ideas, discuss issues, and we go from there. As the thing goes, tutaendelea ku exchange ideas, and then we'll go from there. But before we start the show, let us go before God, have a word of prayer, and then we'll start the show. All right, let's pray. Father, we thank you for this great opportunity time we are having here together as a people, as Kenyans, and more especially our people outside the country in diaspora. God, guide us in our discussion today. May it continue to bring us together as a people and share ideas, exchange, and at the same time show the preference of respecting each other's opinions. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Gentlemen, so karibuni sana, Bwana Kip karibu, Keja karibu, Doro karibu, Mso nakuona huko kwa studio leo, karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Guys, yes, before we even start the show, there is something I believe in my core value that I believe we need to acknowledge. Sadly, is that once again, another election and another loss of life. You guys are aware of the German from IBC who disappeared a couple of days ago, and then unfortunately, he was found dead. So I just want to take this moment, just a pause as a sign of respect and a sign of condolence to the family for the late Musyoka, an IBC gentleman who was doing his duty, but unfortunately he passed away while on duty. So let's take a few seconds just to pause for remembrance in his name. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gentlemen and ladies. Hey, for the first time, hata nimesema ladies leo. Hey, this is nice. So guys, yes. So real quick, tumekuwa na election. What I will say first of all, much respect to my fellow Kenyans. You did your job. You did your civic duty. You did your patriotic duty. Unfortunately, we have some dramas and we'll talk about that. But I just want to much respect and kudos to my fellow Kenyans for your participation. Sisi watu ya diaspora, unfortunately, hatukufanikiwa sana kufanya vile inatakikana. And we'll talk about that and find out what is the way forward and how we can come together to make this a reality, that voting process is inclusive of everybody, irrespective of where they are. So real quick, I'll start with everybody. Just give your perspective of what you have seen, and then we can let discussion flow from there. So wacha nianza na huyu mjamaa wa tulikuwa tunasemanga huko kwa nyumbani, tunasema masomo za nchi za mbali. So wacha nianza na huyu mjamaa wa masomo za mbali huko Australia. Unajua Australia ni dunia nyingine bwana, si hapa karibu. My brother Kip, welcome.
Yes. Let me disrupt you a bit before you do that. I wanted to introduce some people who I had talked to, and they wanted to join you, and I told them that you normally run this show for the diaspora every Sunday. So all the tacklers we had talked to, here we are with Joe Arama, who normally runs this show every Thursday. They were asking, actually one of them, my friend called Al Kandi, asked me, ask Arama whether it is possible to run this show when it is not midnight in the US. Then it occurred to me, I have never thought about that, about the time zone. So indeed, tacklers, you are live on the tackle. My name is Mudhoni. My friends call me Mso. I normally come in here when Bitok is out and about, but today I've decided to raid Arama's show. But before we go there, everybody I talked to last night, I had even talked to Gordon Opio, who is in diaspora in Uganda. I think, you know Gordon Opio Arama. I had
Uganda sio diaspora, Uganda ni province ya Kenya. Tuliwasaidia huko.
Nilikuwa nimeongea na yeye cause nilijua wewe na yeye mtakuwa na
kama hivyo. Museveni aingie kwetu
Museveni is our cousins. Unajua they have brothers in Bungoma and Busia, so we are okay. But
Amen
yeah,
to
I
that.
understand.
But
I know
yes.
Gordon Opio. I've seen him online a couple of times.
Yes, I wish wherever he is, he can hear me, because I had sent him a message last evening. I have not seen his response yet, because there were some things that he had talked about online that I would have wanted you to discuss with everyone, and especially the people who are not near home. I know you guys are asking yourselves questions, but before we go straight, there are those tacklers that are joining us here in Kenya who really love watching the Diaspora Show because they want to hear what Arama has to say. They're like, hey, wacha niende nisikie Arama anasema mambo ya majuu gani. And sometimes they text me, mwambie huyo jamaa anatufanyanga tusikie kama tuko huko majuu. So here we are, the tacklers who are made by Arama to grow wings and fly and go abroad. But quickly, I want to go to the news, because as you know, The Tackle is a news show. It is a political recourse show. So the reason why I'm here is because I am a news person and I like peddling news. And we have seen a lot of stuff that is happening abroad. You're going to be giving us the brief about the attack that Ukraine did in Crimea, and the retaliatory attack, and how that is going to affect us now that we are straight out of voting, and because we've been told everything that is happening wrong in Kenya is because of Ukraine. So I saw on the news that something is happening there. So I am sure Arama has got those news. But locally, we have got some very sensitive news. Chebukati said they wanted to force a rerun. Mm-hmm. Ruto yesterday said, your jobs are safe. Do not take political sides anymore. That's what he told the public workers. Mm-hmm. Just as Nyangaya is a humanitarian who's caught at the center of the IEBC storm, police have obtained CCTV footage in Bomas election chaos probe. And there's changes in Ruto security detail after he was elected president, after he was declared president-elect. So those are some of the issues that are happening here in Kenya that might affect what is happening. And we also want to look at them from your perspective in the diaspora. What it is that you anticipate from the incoming government. What it is that you expect people will do. Those of you who attended the meeting with the deputy president in March when he was in DC, what is it that he might have promised there that you might be wanting to do? Today, I'm going to be a spectator, probably throwing in a few pointers when it comes to matters on the ground and what it is that I have felt. But like I can see the way the weather is across a lot of US city, everywhere is warm, so nobody is going to complain ati tumeamsha watu na baridi. But Arama, consider hiyo maneno ya wale watu wenye it is like 1 a.m. kwao sahi. Tuone kama unaweza ongea na Bitok show ikuwe inakuja jioni. I know Al Kandia you are watching, even if you're not on Google Meets, you're watching us live, and you had requested me that show ikuwe inakuja kama hauna usingizi sana, umeshinda job mchana kutwa. So proceed, Arama.
Thank you so much. We have actually talked about it and trying to figure out the best time to do this. Kwa sababu naona sasa kama Bwana Kipa Australia, already in the afternoon. So one way or the other, somebody is going to be late in the evening at some point. So, but we will continue working, and I will accept any feedback and until we get the so-called sweet spot where everybody can actually participate as much as possible.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much. And I appreciate you bringing that. Uko na energy mingi, siji wamekupatia energizer gani huko studio?
Ananichangamshanga na kahawa nikifika tu like this, very hot. I have very young handsome men over here. Na unajua these kids of mine, nikiona wako na bidii hivyo ya kazi, these tech people, they are all rounded that they look at you and huyu mama anakuja anashiva hapa twang kikombe moto ya coffee. So indeed I am looking forward to a very warm show and a very vibrant show. And then the guys in diaspora, you know tunawawatchianga tukiwa kwa nyumba. So when I'm here today, I'm excited. I want to hear it one-on-one so I can also make my contribution and ask a question from maybe a novice perspective. Ama wale makurutu wenzangu tuko huku twenye hatuelewangu vile. You know, sometimes there's always a very huge gray area of understanding of us people here at home and what is happening with you there and how you are partaking politics, how you are assimilating them or consuming them, and what it is that we can do to make it better for both us people who are at home and you people who are out there. And that was the essence of me joining this show today live in Studio Rama. Proceed. Okay,
thank you so much. Bwana Kip, your turn.
Yeah. Well, where do I start? Election. I think, first of all, my honor and congratulatory messages to Kenyans for conducting themselves with, dignity, practicing, their rights to vote, and they did so honorably. Of course, also, I would also like to congratulate the President-elect, Dr. Samuel Ruto. It's been a journey, especially for the Hustler Nation. I mean, I think every diasporan I know is a hustler. We wake up in the morning, we go to work at night. Some of us we work 2 jobs, and that's what a hustler is. And I think that's why it resonated. However, I don't understand what diaspora people did, but we'll talk about that. But in general, allow me to say thank you to all Kenyans for maintaining peace. I think the very important thing also is that, Raila Odinga is allowed to do what he needs to do until he retires. So let's not be personal. Let's not attack. He has every right to go to court to exhaust all the, some of us would hope that he would, retire honorably. It's still honorable because it's provided in law that he can challenge it. We'll see what happens after he challenges, whether it will be quashed or not. And we'll go from there. And then we'll be now able to write a chapter about Raila's, political career. For that, allow me to yield the floor.
Thank you so much, Banakip. So, all right. So, Doro, let me give you a chance. You're muted.
Sorry. I was hoping it wasn't going to veer to this direction, but already just with Kipchumba's introduction, there's some directions we can't avoid.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here, and it's a pleasure for me to be here every Thursday morning. So nimesikia vibaya unaekewa kahawa. Mimi nimekuja kwa hiyo studio si kupewa kahawa.
Kwanza moto.
Kwanza waulize wananikumbuka walikuwa wananismailia tu hakunipea kahawa.
I think I can see them promising they're going to make sure it's a, cappuccino and a small side up or a shot of espresso so you stay alert and you feel energized like me. Karibu sana. When you come to Kenya, hiyo siku hata mimi nitakuja studio.
Yeah, ningekuwa Kenya lakini sasa nimeona ni vizuri vile nilikataa, babangu alinikataza nisikuje mpaka kura ziishe. I think it was for a good reason. So anyway.
Doro pengine sura yako ni mbaya.
Wewe Kenya, wacha uchokozi.
Wewe Kenya.
Doro continue.
Unajua saizi mimi am flammable. Very flammable.
Or you can spontaneously combust.
Yes. Thank you. Those are the right words. So, I'm proud of my country, Kenya, first of all. I'm proud of my country for not exploding and not turning into a fireball. That just makes me be proud of being a Kenyan. But in the same breath, I'm not proud of being a Kenyan too, because of some things that we've seen that have happened. And I'm going to ask, give me 3 times the time, please. If you were giving me 1 minute, give me 3 minutes today. So I can nitoe roho.
Okay.
So what happened? I've been talking here, I think, consecutively for the last 2 months. I'm telling you guys that I don't feel like the election should happen. I feel like somebody's compromised. I've said it for 8 straight weeks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then, boom, this happened. We are all grown-ups. Any Kenyan who's over 18 years old, we are all grown-ups. When the Venezuela crack happened, we are grown up to be told exactly this and this and this happened. You just can't come and shut us up and tell us that, it's been sorted, everything is okay. And then this happens. So in my view, it was a shame in the whole world. The world was watching us because they were expecting a Mandela moment, honestly. Mm-hmm. So that made the world watch us. and then we do some shady, small, petty kind of theft in front of the world. That is embarrassing for me, very embarrassing. And tumejichomea na wale watu wenye saizi wanaketi, whether you are UDA. Let me tell you, if Baba was in Ruto's shoes right now na ameiba, singekuwa hapa namtetea ati nasema congratulations Baba, I'm shaking flags around. No, ningemruka. And for you guys to sit here and defend the crap that you saw happened, any UDA person that's listening to me out there, if you're sitting here and defending the crap that you saw, because unajua kuna kuiba ingine ile asili yenye tutaona na hatuwezi accuse tuseme hivi kwa sababu we didn't see it, but this one was seen. Things have been done. Even the commissioners, I've never seen where a commission goes split ways. Never seen before. No commissioner was up front there with Chebukati kutangaza our president-elect. There was no commissioner, none, zero. Unless you saw somebody. No, hold on. There was no commissioner. So to me, first of all, we don't have a president-elect. We don't. Hold on. No. Don't tell me to keep quiet, Kipchumba. I know what my rights are.
No, I was just gonna.
Yes, I know we do not have a president-elect because the whole thing was shambolic. And you are going to find out pretty soon. I'm speaking confidently because hii mambo ya kuwa na uoga kila saa, we are letting things keep on repeating themselves and then we're not improving our country. If we had a president-elect, right now the transition could be going on, the president could have called him, everything could have been going on. Hata tungejua inauguration ni siku gani, ninunue nguo yangu ya yellow nikuja, ningekuja bado. But we don't. So mambo ya UDA, celebrate quietly if you have to celebrate, but it is sad. It is sad. I would not want to be in your position because it's an injustice. It's just total injustice. I have a lot to say. I'm going to give room for other people to speak, but whatever happened there was wrong, and I feel sad for everybody who is clapping hands. Kama tungeona hizo vitu, mimi hapa ningekuwa sasa nimeambia watu Facebook na everywhere where I talk, you know what? The best man wins. The votes, it was free and clear. ABCD, Baba, sorry you lost. Let's move on. Ruto, you're the next president-elect. Mambo yote nimesema juu yako, please forgive me. May I have a VIP ticket to come to your inauguration? You know, that's where I could be, but I can't even be there right now. Asante for now.
Thank you, Doro. Thank you so much. Like I said, we all have our opinions, and this is a show that we all respect one another's opinion. If you have a contrary something, you have a time to speak and give your opinion. So, and I'm just reading quickly through some comments. I may disagree with some of the comments, but like I said, everybody has a right to say what they want to say, and that's why it's called an opinion. An opinion is your perspective of what you see. So I really can't argue with that. So next person, Keja, utaniruhusu nikuweke bench kidogo. I give Bwana Kipleting a chance to speak, and then I'll come to you, Keja.
Yeah, good morning, Kenya and everyone. Alafu good afternoon, watu wenye tuko Asia, and especially South Korea. I'm grateful to especially to join this afternoon from this side.
Mm-hmm.
We are grateful for each and everyone. Thank you, Doro, for your opinions. And I think with the few things that have come throughout our election, Doro kept insisting that there is something that is compromised in the IEBC. But by and large, I kept on saying we should support IEBC, but we should always criticize it and try to make it, to improve it better.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the analysis that have happened and then maybe I've reflected between 2013, 2017, and 2019, probably 2022, the January where IBC have conducted their elections, I must say there is a credible improvement. They have not done something that is 100%, but yet we are on a journey to make sure that we create our institutions that are very strong, and of course that give us credibility in terms of what they conduct in their responsibilities that we give them. I want to say the IBC did their part. Some of the things were not right, because one of the things I could say is an issue of administrative work within the room. Because if the division between the IBC commissioners happen, then it is an issue of the administrative work, for my opinion. I could say it is an issue of Chebukati trying to bring the commissioners together and discuss the issue and sort it out. However, we could also say Chebukati could have tried, or the other team that defected could have tried to say, can we agree on one matter? But it never happened because they never reached a consensus, and that is why they defected from their statements that they gave. I checked yesterday, Chebukati gave another statement defending himself and trying to say, this is my position as well. We had the commissioners, the 2 following days, giving the previous days, giving their press conference also. And it looked like there is quite some things that are happening in the back room that we do not understand in the front room, wherever we are, as both the nationalists, as Kenyans, and everybody else. And it seems to be remain within the commission. The commission seems to be fighting. And I commented yesterday and I said, yes, we understand that you have your own internal administrative differences, but it should not, the dirty linen should not be washed openly, like you come and wash your dirty linens on the front of us. We gave you the work, and we are better Kenyans that could have done that work, but from the chairperson all through the commissioners that are there, we have better people. But this was the time that we had given them, because that is how the things goes and roll it. And maybe the chairman said we have rolled some of the few progress that have come. However, I want also to say there are some few things that I must say Azimio must have missed. And one, Baba is one of the best person I always support, and I admire what he does. But I think I have a difference with those who are surrounding the Baba in terms of the circle of the people that brings the ideas to Baba, both in terms of advice, in terms of their perspective, in terms of the administrative. In fact, it made me change my mind quickly when I tried to check. In the following day after the election, Edwin Sifuna, the secretary of the ODM, just posted some results, and it looks like it was symbolic results in the Twitter. And we could not trace it up. It was like he had posted it, and then he's saying we are winning. And then all of a sudden, we are trying to say, can you guys post the results from, or give us the link so that we can follow the link from our side? Like we are outside the country and we can follow the link for both sides. And I think one of the guys who gave me the link, they gave me the link for the UDA that they were compiling their own papers and their files. And I was trying to follow the link. Every time the post, there was a new 34A that is being posted to the IBC portal. When I clicked the link of the UDA, the Kenya Kwanza team, then they had also uploaded the same paper into their link. And I was like, oh, this guy seems to be following this thing. Like they are doing what they are following what they want to see. By the time the elections is being done, then they have their own results. And I was trying to follow the guys, friends, guys, we talked together, and I was trying to tell them, guys, can you give me the link? Because I am in the WhatsApp and I'm not seeing the link that you are supposed to send so that we can follow the results on both sides. And I seem to say I blame the secretariat of the Azimio. They never did a credible job. They never did an impressive job. They never went out there. Yeah, they just kept singing Baba Baba, and they thought maybe the votes could just come. When you are running, then you need to prepare completely, and you need to put all your hands on the board so that you can achieve what you want. And I think those were some of the issues that could have diverted my mind and say, if we want political parties that are working well, then we need to plan into our secretariat that are very strong. And these are the institutions that we are struggling to build in Kenya. We are saying the first world countries where we have gone outside the world, they are building their institution from inside. If you talk of the deep state in South Korea, I'm telling you, we do not have a deep state in Kenya. Here, when you talk about the deep state, it is so deep that you cannot, everything is in a deep state. In Kenya, we are talking about deep state, but the deep state is not there. I think they determine everything in terms of what they want to do. You cannot understand even the next move that they are doing. That is how deep the deep state is. And every country has their own deep state. And we should upload that in the first world countries, if you check about the deep state, then they are doing an impressive and amazing work. If we had a deep state in Kenya, those elections could have been done by 9, and everything else will be just there. But by and large, I could say thank you for Kenyans for conducting themselves well, conducting the election in peaceful. Let us remain peaceful. The next move that maybe the Azimio team is taking, let's wait. Of course, I checked yesterday. The latest is that the Kenya Kwanza is trying to woo the independent candidates to marshal their numbers in the parliament, so that they can just get into the parliament and maybe the floor of the parliament and run their policies as government. And of course, as they try to do that as a government together, other things are unfolding. I saw the press from the team that they are preparing the swearing in. They said everything is in place. They are preparing. Of course, we by and large, we have our own challenges that we are undergoing, but we must upload the process that we have undergone. Thank you so much. I am ready to listen to other opinions.
Hey, Bwana Kipleting, I think I need to put you as our policy expert on this show. Well articulated. I appreciate your comments. Bwana Keja, kiwanja ni yako bwana, ama ni wanasema kiwanja ama jukwaa?
Jukwaa. Unaona mpaka nimekaa kando.
Yeah.
Mpaka simu imekataa story.
Yeah. Itakuja tu. There you go. Maipata. Tena imepotea.
Ndio hiyo.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, the one thing I appreciate is elections went well.
Yeah.
There was no, for the first time, hakukuwa na vita, hakukuwa na gas, hakukuwa na sijui nini. Yeah, elections, everybody went and voted quietly, and they went home. And this is the longest, if you look at it, this is the longest Chebukati has taken to release the results.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenyans are patient. But kakora pengine kama kalichezwa tutajua.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Wacha watu wa Raila tutaenda. We'll go. The Supreme Court says yes or no. We'll accept. Lakini Doro, my dear, don't take it personal. Hiyo kitu unaweka kwa lungs. Unaweka politics kwa lungs, unakipumua inatoka. Yeah, don't take it at heart. To everybody, yes, Raila lost, but do not take it at heart. I think Ruto is a good president. He will be. He will be. Just because the side you took did not make it does not mean life does not go on. Kama Uhuru alikusaidia ukakula kitu, that is good. Lakini it's time to move on. Kama ulikuwa unangoja politics usaidiwe kutengeneza pesa, shida ni yako, kwa sababu nini? You're not doing a good job doing business. So the only thing I'm gonna say is the person who's gonna give the government, we need a government that will give people a platform to do business in peace. Yeah, Ruto had promised to remove all those restrictions, license ikuwe moja na nini. That's what you want. In the end of the day, the promises should be delivered. Watu wenye walikuwa nataka wheelbarrow inakuja. Watu wenye walikuwa nataka 6,000 imeenda. 6,000 na wheelbarrow pengine ilikuwa bei moja. Pengine wheelbarrow ilikuwa 6,000, bei ilikuwa moja. So it's about time we just start shaking it off. Shaking it off. The Raila people shake it off. Time to go. Time to strap the boots and we keep going on. This is not the end of life.
Yeah.
This is not the end of life. He tried, he lost, he tried, he lost, he tried, he lost, he tried, he lost. There's nothing he can do after this. This man is almost 80 years old, man. Tuache iende. Tuendele. That's all I have, man.
Oh, thank you, Bwana Keja. Man of very few words. I appreciate your comments. Bwana Komen, naona wewe ndio uliingia next after everybody else, so I'll give you a chance. Keep I see you. So I have a couple of other people here. Let me give them briefly, quick moment to say something, and then I'll come back. I'll circle back to you. Bwana Boaz.
Hi, Joel.
Yes.
So sorry I came a bit late because I had seen the link that had been posted by Gerald.
Yeah.
So I'm in Hungary, Debrecen. Yeah. So basically, I think my opinion will be like to anchor on what Kipleting has said. The whole process from the beginning was quite transparent, in my opinion, because there is no any other time that we'd seen the forms being uploaded. Having participated in some of the elections as a clerk and deputy presiding officer before, it was quite like an amazing thing to me until the point when there was the issue of the announcement. That's when we saw all the problems that we encountered. But it was quite interesting that the role of social media can have an impact to us, despite seeing the figures. Initially, I was quite confident when I had seen the infrastructure that they'd been put in place, let's say by the HNIB and the like. But as time went by, different stories come where each and every person has his own opinion on how the election and the results are being transmitted, despite being removing it from the same source. And I'd like to thank Gerald, first of all, because I could see his calculations and all those that were being done when the Form 34Bs were being put in place. So for me, I'd like to say, like, IEBC tried. However, we don't know what exactly happened since all the split commissions have their own say pertaining. Okay, some say like the issue of they were not allowed to see the opaqueness and the like. And this other side, the issue of what did they say, like they needed to moderate the results. So what I can say is, but all of us, like, you can tell who could be telling the truth or not. However, we don't. That is the cost to determine. In my opinion, I think as Kenyans, we've really matured, and it's quite good that despite all these problems, Kenyans have maintained peace, which is the epitome of that. Because at that moment, as we were watching the four commissioners giving a briefing, it was quite like I could see we were an inch to like going back to the problems we've had before.
Yes.
But I'm glad that Kenyans maintain the calmness despite the problems that we were encountering and the like. And I say the next move that the Azimio have followed, we can say like the court now can determine it. And I think as Kenyans, let's continue maintaining the peace that we've had And however, in as much as for the part of the UDA and the Kenya Kwanza that we've won, and also the Azimio part, let's continue having brothers keeper and ensure that we follow the due process. But I'll add something concerning the role now of the incoming president and the new government. There's a lot of things that they need to take it up, because right now, however the process will follow, there is a president towards the end. So they need to know, like, this is the decade that we're going towards the Vision 2030 as the country, and there is that necessity to build up an infrastructure in place such that how will we take the country towards that point. So I think the incoming government needs to really think outside the box and see, despite the challenges that we're going through, we need to see, like, how can we move the country forward despite all these problems. So I think the next process will not take, I think the maximum will be about 67 days, if it is nullification, if it is to do what, that is the maximum day that we have. I don't know how the court will determine, or if it is like the country to move forward, that the election was credible, then that is the end. But the issue is, there is a necessity for the new government to think on how this country will move forward, despite the challenges we have, the debt and all those things, towards ensuring that the achievement of the 2008 to 2030 vision is well achieved. Okay, thank you so much, Joel.
Thank you so much, Bwana Coleman. I appreciate your comments. Bwana Isaac Goge, how are you? And before Isaac, you come up, there is a friend of mine from UK, Tafadhali. Patrick, can you please join us? Because I really want to hear from you today. I know you are probably watching, getting ready to go to work, but before you do that, come on the show. Isaac?
Arama, before we go to Isaac, there's a quick item of news here. There's something you had mentioned about the IEBC official who was found murdered, and I have just bumped into a news item. You do remember yesterday that the aspirant for Embakasi East, is it Embakasi East? Yes, the one who lost to Babu Owino, claimed quite sensationally, live on camera, that Babu Owino was linked, and it is an allegation. It is not our opinion here on the tackle. We do repeat to our viewers that it is just but an allegation. And Babu has responded to that. He said, "Why always me? Mbona nimuue kabla anitangaze mshindi?" I'm quoting what Babu Owino has written. MP Babu Owino has dismissed his competition, Francis Mureithe's claim that there is evidence linking him to the murder of Embakasi East IEBC official Daniel Musyoka. Babu questioned why he was being singled out, and there were other aspirants in the constituency. We do remember that Musyoka's body was discovered in a forest in Kajiado while naked and had signs of struggle and torture, and it is reminiscent of what happened to the late ICT boss for IEBC, Mr. Msando. And we also want to remind the Kenyans who are watching from local that it is midnight in diaspora, and these very patriotic Kenyans are up and awake to join us in this discourse here on The Tackle. On Thursday, that's where we take care of our folks out there. So, Arama, proceed.
Thank you so much, Mso, for that update. I'm actually smiling because I see one of my favorite people, Frida. Welcome. So I just wanted to acknowledge you, but I'll give you a chance to speak later. Isaac, since you have not responded, I'll go to Bwana Sam. How are you, my friend?
Hello? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Isaac. Okay. Looks like you're on now. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I give the lady a chance to talk. Thank you very much, Isaac. I'm from Seattle, in the USA.
Yes.
It's nice having to hear the debate and the contributions of other people. Mine is to first to congratulate the president-elect, William Ruto, and the Kenyans. They really exhibited maturity and a growth in our democracy. I think we are getting there as Kenyans. Hiyo tu kidogo hapo hiyo, the commotion that was caused there by a few people, but otherwise that was very credible. So one thing that really I think is going to help the Kenyans is institutions. And I think Ruto has been talking about this very much. institutions are what are going is what is going to help Kenyans solve a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I can give an example with what we saw here in the U.S., which is a very it's a democracy that has been there for so many years.
Yes.
And here comes Mr. Trump, who really tried to challenge and almost pushed the U.S. to something that they have never thought about, unprecedented. But we saw the institutions stood firm. And, the people who are heading some of those institutions, some of them who are even Republicans, some of them who are even appointed by Trump, they stood up and said, we're not going to do that. We took an oath to protect the Constitution of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So my hero on the Kenya elections is really Mr. Chebukati. I can only imagine, when I saw that guy yesterday, he was under a lot of immense pressure. You could tell by his, his character, just watching him. He was really under a lot of pressure. But he said he took out an oath of office and he was going to, execute his duties according to the oath that he took. So for Kenya, Chebukati really did play a very, crucial role on that day. Otherwise, if he had, opted otherwise, I don't know what we'll be talking about now. Then the impunity in Kenya needs to end. If people can walk up there at the dais in front of at the glare of all the cameras and assault the chairman, this should not be let to go. Those people are on video. They destroyed property. They assaulted people there. Here, some people were injured. There is somebody who has been murdered. This needs to be. They need to, just like here in the U.S. after the January 6th, resurrection here. Some people right now are in prison. I think people need to pay for that, and it might not be quick, but it needs to be done, and people need to pay. It doesn't matter who you are. You committed a crime, and you should be capable of that. About the commissioners, this is also something that needs to be. There is more than meets the eye. If you took an oath of office and you subvert that, you should also pay for that. If Chebukati sincerely, is found to have done something that outside his mandate, then he should be culpable. If those 4 commissioners are found to have, gone out of what is within their mandate, or are trying to do some monkey business, they should also be culpable, and they should face the full force of the law. Otherwise, these are the people that after Chebukati term ends, these are the people that are going to be heading that institution. Mm-hmm. I think there should be a serious commission that looks into this. Then my final point is just to
Isaac, I have a question just before you proceed.
Yes.
The way you have put it and compared what the 4 IEBC officials who disagreed with Chebukati, how their action is, are you equating it to the insurrection that happened on January 6th by the people who raided Congress? And are you saying that to a certain extent it amounts to a civilian coup by those officials?
I think he was referring to the people who were throwing stuff on the tires.
Yes.
I don't think he mentioned yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people who tried to interrupt the occasion by preventing Chebukati from executing his mandate. This was something that was planned. It was not just out of just like in the U.S.
It is not.
You think
it was not spontaneous? That's why I'm asking. Could we say it amounts to a civilian coup, an attempted one?
It could. It could be, and that's why it can only be founded to a commission. you know, at
Where's
the
the
same time,
proof? Where's the proof that you're talking about?
well, I'm talking about having a commission. I'm not charging anybody. I'm just saying we should have a commission of inquiry.
I think we should respectfully get away from that topic because it's getting bad.
No,
And
it's a good
whatever
topic,
happened was not planned. Nothing was planned there. Let's just
No,
move
you have
on,
no idea.
please.
You don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know that.
Yes,
give
we
Isaac
all
time to,
don't know, so
yes.
we get away from it.
Okay.
No, let's give Isaac time to express his opinion, guys.
I'm not charging anybody.
Yes.
I'm just that we should have a commission that should look into all those circumstances, and if anybody was culpable, should be, you know, we should face the courts and you know, the law. My last point was just to ask the president-elect that you know, he's been elected. We are hoping that he's going to form the government, and I listened to his manifesto, and I look forward to him executing the plan, because as he said, this election was different because it was based on issues, not tribal. It was all about the issues affecting Kenyans. And for this, I see the economy being turning around the economy of Kenya being the very first priority. Otherwise, thank you very much for giving me a chance to contribute.
Thank you, Bwana Isaac. I appreciate your sentiments and your opinions. So I'll move on quickly because I see quite a number of people still joining us. So I'll try to give people chances to speak. Bwana Sam, how are you, my friend?
Hi, everyone.
Yes.
I hope you can all hear me. So, maybe I can start from this point of, or I can pick from where Isaac left about the commissioners and how, to my knowledge, or how I tend to see these things, is those people who are trying to subvert the will of sovereign, sovereign people of Kenya. And as far as how I understand, as a commission, this is a team that is working. And these people from day one, they've been doing the same thing. I saw most of those commissioners who were there announcing the results. And it really shows that it was a teamwork that was going on. But having said that, the chair of the commission is the one that all the responsibility lies with him as a national returning officer. And that is his work as per the Constitution. I'm not a lawyer though, but if you go to Article 138 of the Constitution, it stipulates clearly. And the Constitution itself doesn't talk about the quorum in IBC, you know. And what is the best interest is the chairman, guided under the rule of law, which is stipulated very well in the Constitution, shall exercise his mandate as per that Constitution. And if I may go back and see and ask myself, what happened to these 4 commissioners? Why did these 4 commissioners bungled out, and the 3 commissioners who were there from 2013 still remain intact, you know? So it tells, you know, to explain the motive behind this, and if you connect the dots, you can see that there was something fishy. And preceding that, there was once these commissioners left out and issued a press statement prior to that day of announcing of the results, Chebukati came out clearly yesterday and tried to explain in an official letter on what these other commissioners wanted to do, of which we are not yet to determine, but the ultimate goal is people, how this other team of Azimio, they've indicated that they will be going to Supreme Court, which is a good thing because of the peace that we are experiencing within the country. And it's a good thing for me, from my end, so that the courts can vindicate and really try to find out what went wrong. But as per the court ruling in the year 2017, when that election, the 2017 election was dismissed, it was annulled. What this commission has done from the word go, they've been performing their duties based on the outcomes of the election 2017 that was bankled, and what the Scots gave these people that this is the best procedure for you to conduct an election. And all along, I've been watching, following this election process very keenly. And the biggest animal that was there in the year 2017 was about, you remember the issues of servers that were not opened. But this time round, the servers were open, which, takes us back what is election ought to be. Election has to be, transparent, free, and fair, And all these things we've seen transparency in this election. That's the first thing that we've seen. Everyone was just getting into the portal. The portal is open for everyone. You see all from 31st A's, from the polling stations. So you go there, download your forms, do your tally, find your result. And my queue, I was curious. I was curious to see the whole of last week. The other side. The political opponents for Kenya Kwanza. They did not really give us their figures. What these people, what they got, because I assume that all of them had their agents all over the country. You see, and for you to win an election, or even how election has to be done, Chebukati says, or the chair of the commission said, that election is done at the polling station. And what is in the polling station, or what has been recorded in the polling station as in the form 34A, cannot be changed. And that is the primary document where, So I'm foreseeing that, fine, this team will go to Supreme Court. And maybe what they will work on as per their case, I don't know if it will be watertight, is maybe they'll argue on the process. Otherwise, in terms of numbers, I don't see where they're going, because numbers are clearly there. You can see yourself. Even you, Arama, you can get in, tabulate your figures, see. Otherwise, another thing is, what I can commend to Kenyans is the peace that, we've experienced this, this time. I don't know, is it because of COVID, or it's because of what, or we've grown in terms of democracy, but it is, it's commendable, because the peace that Kenyans are experiencing throughout the country, it's commendable. So that's what I can comment for now, and as we go ahead, we will see any other topics that will come along the way. So okay. I can pass it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So I just wanted to notify you, your friend is here on the show now.
Gordon. Gordon has arrived.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
so happy. I'm so happy.
All right.
There's something he mentioned that I would want you to talk with him about what he suspected, that Chebukati did not make his allegations without backup. He must be having something that he knows he can produce in case he's asked about the allegations he's making about his officers. So I'm very happy that Gordon has joined. Thank you, Arama.
Thank you. But Gordon, I'll give you a chance. I have two people ahead of you, real quick, guys, gentlemen. So I just wanted, for the sake of time, and I don't want to restrict people from expressing themselves, but since most people have said a lot of things regarding their opinion about the results, I have Bwana Koech and Bwana Philip here. I just want to give you guys a chance. I'll start with Koech and then go to Philip, and then I'll come to you, Gordon. But interesting, guys, one thing that I've observed so far, we are all diasporians, but I haven't heard anybody talking about the diaspora and what happened. So, but just a food of thought. But, I don't want to restrict anybody to what they want to say. But let's try to concise our discussion and get it. And I'm happy to see my friend Pratik has joined us. Inaonekana ujumbe yangu na KBC amepata. Thank you so much. So it looks like, Koech has dropped. So Philip, to you. Bwana Philip, are you with us? All right. Naonekana Philip mute imemkosa kidogo. So Bwana Gordon, I've seen you online. We haven't really discussed much, but I always see your postings online. I know you have your perspective on what has happened.
Yes.
And your views, and I will give you a chance, and then I'll go to one of my favorite guys from UK. I really need to make a stop over there and visit him one of these days. So when I got on, let me give you a minute or so just to express what you think has happened, and then I'll go to Patrick, and then of course I'll give my own personal perspective also, just to make the whole thing well-rounded. Then I'll circle back to the rest of the panelists.
Okay, thank you, Joel. I hope I'm clear.
Yes.
I was on the road and I got this message and I told him so to give me 5 minutes to park.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you, Gordon, for taking time off your trip across the border.
Yes, to smuggle.
Gordon Uzishiko bwana.
Gordon is our local diasporian and he is very vibrant in what he posts. So when he posted about the IEBC and the fact that Chebukati might be knowing something we don't know, I really thought maybe because diasporians really want to know what happened from somebody who has got deep roots on the ground. That's why I felt, Gordon, for you, you've been a journalist for years and years and years. You know more than probably us greenhorn journalists. Kindly.
Is this a guy from Uganda?
This is the Kenyan who works. The one who, he's an awesome gentleman. He knows more than we know. Gordon, tell us.
We're really suspecting him, but it's okay.
I love him. I worship him.
Gordon, it's your chance. Yes.
Okay, now, I think, you know what happened? By Wednesday, 10 a.m., it was clear to everyone that the results were out, and by 99% of the polling stations having brought their from 34 A's to the IBC portal, it was clear that the winner was this person with this percentage. It was clear. I mean, just like I've just talked about it in a few minutes ago, that in India with 600 million votes, they get to know the results within 5 hours, maximum 6 hours. So that's exactly what happened in Kenya. We by 10 o'clock, everybody was doing tallying. It was not like it was not a secret thing. I mean, this time it was open to anyone. Anyone with resources could just download those forms, do your tallying. Now, from that time, it was clear that Ruto had won and had met the 50+1 threshold and had gotten over 25% in the 24 counties. It was clear to everyone, even to the Azimio side. So what happened is that we started seeing games immediately after that. And I mean, as someone who has roots on the ground and everywhere, and I also stay around the home, I mean the home county of where maybe the chairman comes from, and there's a lot of information we pick from the ground. And that is when Chebukati knew that there were games being played, and I'm sure he had been talked to before, and probably he refused, because I think that's where we are. So he took all caution. He knew that this was going to happen, and made sure that whatever happens is recorded. So you can take this to the bank that from very reliable and verifiable sources, whatever happened was recorded, and he kept it on record. That was that was my point yesterday. That from very verifiable sources, Chebukati knew what was going to take place, because from Wednesday, and you also see it on the live tallying, the kind of shenanigans that were taking place, the kind of unnecessary delays that were being brought. So you knew that there was something taking place. So anybody who knew that would be reasonable enough to take extra caution. And I also asked around, and discovered and was informed that there is very good record of what happened, and it is he didn't take chances, because this time we are dealing with something which could also take your life, because knowing that people can take you to heaven before your time. So probably, yeah. So that was what I was talking about yesterday.
Arama, let me also mention that Gordon worked for the weekly reviews. Ile siku mambo ilikuwa moto sana, kali sana. He worked for the Standard and he knows how to dig information on the ground. Gordon has been cutting across the political divide at some point. He's supporting Azimio at some, like he's a level-headed person that when I see him start saying, because for a very long time, you follow him online, for a very long time, he was on the Azimio side. Then he started publishing issues and stories, and he would write something and I would be like, it's not that Gordon just woke up one day and randomly decided to shift camps. There's something he knows. So really, I would like to maybe let you know why I had invited him, because I know diasporans are anxious. People are wondering, who do we have on the ground who can feed us with information that we can be able to trust? So you've heard him saying that there must be some concrete evidence, some documented that Chebukati has. So let people stop worrying that it is just a rumor. The letter that Chebukati posted on the IEBC portal, on the IEBC website, the WhatsApp, the social media networks. No, it is something. In case he is told to bring that, I mean, he's a seasoned lawyer. In case he's told to bring that before court, and that's Gordon's opinion, and like you've heard him say, he's gotten it from credible sources. So I would want people to stop speculating, especially the people from the Azimio side, to stop feeling like we've been tunagandamizwa, or the people from the UDA side to stop imagining that tumeshinda. No, it's not tumeshinda automatic. It's tumeshinda with systems and sequences and there is evidence. And hawa hata sio kushindwa Azimio wameshindwa.
And extra ballots that were done before polling.
Well, that if it can be proven, then now we can say again maybe Chebukati was lying. Because from where we sit, all we want is anybody who's bringing forth an accusation, they must be having something concrete. So that you people who are out there struggling to work and take care of your families here at home, don't think that people back at home are just sitting idle, jumbling up elections just like that. My point for this special post-election diaspora was people in diaspora need to be told by people who are on the ground and people who can certify whatever they are saying, what happened here, so that your hearts can rest when you're there working.
Thank you. So, hey, man, today is full house. My friend, Patrick. How are you? You're muted. Yeah.
Are we okay now?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I mean, I concur with Gordon, all that Gordon has said. I've been very, very, very keen and following the politics from the ground, although I'm in the UK, but I've been following very keenly. And as that beautiful lady there has been speaking, he's been, trying to put everything right. What's the name?
Her name is Muthoni, you can call him so.
Yeah, Anaitwa Mso, and Mso has explained it even much deeper about what Gordon has said. The first thing I would remind you, Arama, you remember I told you this is a two-horse race. And I told you, you take this to the bank. I think the election has gone on very, very, very well. There's nothing. Of course, there should be some small hitches here and there, like someone trying to convince us of what is 0.01%. We are yet to hear that. But honestly, I have just, I'm just so impressed by the way people behaved, the way people have been waiting. And of course, I will not hide behind anyone to say that exactly my principal has won. And I knew he said that there is God in heaven. Mm-hmm. The Azimio side, you've heard the way it has gone. We have to accept. They had got everything, the state machinery, including the president himself. Amesaidiwa in every way, but it was not his time. And the good thing is that everyone is very peaceful. And the president-elect said very clearly, he said he's ready to give even evidence in court. He's ready for it. He's not panicking. We are ready to listen whatever is going to happen in court. So I think it's time we need to accept the things as they are, and then we move on the country, to be honest. And we accept that, if you didn't win this time, your time is coming next time anyway, you know. And people have proved themselves that it doesn't matter whether you're from this region or from which region. Everyone has proved that any for example, any Kikuyu can vote for the Azimio. You know, any Kikuyu can vote for Kenya Kwanza, any Luo can vote for Kenya Kwanza, can vote for, you know, all that has been really, 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 really good. And let us not speculate too much on the politicians. Most of the politicians, they'll never accept defeat. You know, so because when you look at the planning of the elections, one of the senior counsel, Abdel Nasser, someone like that, I remember is one of the senior counsel. He said, from where he sat when he was trying to describe how this election has been prepared, he said, please, Mr. Ruto, if you lose, don't even dare go to the Supreme Court. Mr. Raila, if you lose, don't go to the High Court or Supreme Court, because everything is being conducted so peacefully. So all the lawyers, you can see there's no enough evidence to take this thing forward. Let us wait for the swearing in of our 5th President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto. That's what I can say.
Thank you, Bwana Patrick. It's a pleasure to see you. Like I said, today is a full house. Doro, I see your request. Beatrice, can I give you 1 minute to say something and welcome to the taco? All right. While Beatrice is trying to figure out her mute button, Bwana Alfred, Ambassador, toa mute bwana, nikusikie.
Vipi?
Poa sana.
Hey.
Karibu. It's been a long week.
It's been a long week. It's what it is. Like last time when we left, we were like, when we come back, we will be having a new president, a new system, and a new way of governance. And I think we are.
Okay.
I just wish to congratulate the president-elect, Dr. William Ruto, and his team, and also the team that were elected all through from MCA to the governor. I'm happy that the person that I was pushing for and also wishing well was Koti Moja, well in Uasin Gishu. He managed also to go through. So we thank all the people from Uasin Gishu, our friends who supported us, and everyone who came in through the journey. The mathematics, chair error. We don't know if it's error or wherever. Yeah, so everyone is talking about it. I would not want to mention that because the issue is still with the courts, if they're going to court or wherever. We actually don't know what happened. You know, we've not been told exactly if this thing was opaque, if it was transparent or translucent. So we just wait for those moments and see. But what I would want to say, Chairman, is that I want to laud Kenyans from all walks of life, from all the areas, from all tribes. We are now one Kenya. That is a fact. That is a fact. And that was one of the best elections, that no issues were reported. All those whom wanted to demonstrate, they just did it, and that was it for one day. Things are back to normal. But we wish also those who are going to court, well, let them do whatever they wish, and then they will come back and we will continue with this. Because I will tell you for free, Joe, that, you know, when you run an election and when it is close and you've spent money, you would also want to get justice for what you've done. So we are not disputing that, you know, they are feeling bad. Of course, you feel bad once you fail. And also there is that thing that you're like, I spend money, I spend time, I spend, you know, remember I told you on Friday, ukianguka utaambia nini bibi yako? Unajua unaanza kwanza na bibi, wewe hujakuja nyumbani for 3 months. Na unakuja hapa na unasema umeanguka, kwani ni nini ulifanya yenye wale wetu wengine walifanya zaidi? So trying to justify what happened is ni ngumu bana. Tusicheke mzee, wacha mzee aambiwe vizuri, atetee kivyake, arudi pale. But for those who managed through, and I wish to say this specifically for the young MPs.
Yes.
Tuache mapicha sasa, tuingie kazi. Na wajue that wale watu wenye waliwaelect are their bosses. You know, they will start posting at with my boss, they forget what exactly they were going to do in parliament. Let me remind them that it is now time to go to work. It is now time to justify why you wanted to be in that position. Why are you different from that person that was there before? And what is the difference between your age and the person that was there? Because most of them were like, I'm still a young man, full of energy, I can deliver this and this. We made promises, you made promises, whether governor, MP, or women rep, or the MCA, maximize this time, the 5 years. And then, you know, do what you may. And the good thing is, unfortunately, first of all, Joe, is that most of the people that we are elected hawana network. Let us be sincere. Na unajua maisha ya siku hizi lazima uwe na network. Sasa ukienda huko ungangane na mapicha, na naona wale wa Nandi walikuwa wakienda huko wanakaa na watu wa Nandi. Instead uende ukae umingle na watu wengine, ujue ya Meru ni nani, ujue ya Mombasa ni nani, so that kesho ukikuwa na karambe kidogo kule nyumbani, unaita rafiki yako kutoka huko Embu, unaita rafiki yako kutoka huko, sasa unaambia bwana niko na kidogo hapa ya vijana, niko na ka function kidogo ya kanisa. Let us mingle, let us create networks and all this. Because now we are focusing on, you know, we are not looking back on what we would done. Lauding Kenyans, it was a great elections. Let us continue in that direction, and we wish well everyone.
Thank you so much. Aya, Bwana Kip, just if you can excuse me for a moment. I know I started with you. Doro is saying she wants to respond to something, so let me give her a chance. You know, ladies first. So bwana, lazima na mimi nipate brownie points. Madamu akiangalia hii show asubuhi, ajue I did my duty to acknowledge the ladies first. So let me give a chance to Doro to respond to something she wanted to respond to, and then I'll come back to you, Kip. Doro? Are you still with us, Doro Amau?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I was speaking and I was on mute.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I wanted to respond to... actually, first of all, I need to note here that the Azimio to the Kenya Kwanza quorum here is I think 1 to 20 or 2 to 20. So we've spent most of our time listening to why Kenya Kwanza had a free and fair election. Of course, if it was Azimio right now that we had won, I'd be also will be a lot of Azimios here who feel like why it was a free and fair election. So I really don't blame them for feeling that way, because I would be on the same boat. But in response to, I think it was Patrick.
Yes, Patrick.
Yeah, you clearly said the elections went with no issues. First of all, I think we all, as panelists here, we forgot to acknowledge that we lost two people. We took a moment of silence for one person.
Yes.
But
my apologies. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we lost two people. The first person was shot by one of the Azimio MP aspirants. No, he's an MP actually. He was an MP and he was also re-elected. So I'm not sure what he's going to be in the next few weeks. So we have to.
Doro, I think it's a Kenya Kwanza member of parliament. It's not an Azimio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, Kenya Kwanza. Thank you for correcting me. Oh my goodness. Oh, did I just say that? Yeah, a Kenya Kwanza member of parliament. He's called
Baraza. He's called Baraza.
Yep.
Didmas. I know him. He's a colleague. Yeah. So it's there are issues. When we lose two lives, there are issues. I know So talked about Mr. Babu Owino being blamed for the death of the returning officer at Embakasi. That guy died. There would be no reason why a winning officer, a winning MP, or somebody who's clearly waiting to be named as a winner, would have a reason to to kill him. But then also, I cannot blame the Kenya Kwanza guy or any other party guy who lost that they're the reason. Something must have happened. This guy must have either been offered money like it was being done, in other polling stations. And when I say something, I own it. I actually don't say things I'm not sure about. So this one I'm not sure because I don't know. He's dead. He might have been offered money and he said no. So since he wasn't in compliance, he had to be off because he was going to tell. So most of the Central Province, and for those Kenya Kwanza guys who are here, acting like they don't know or they didn't see any irregularities or what happened. Now, let me just clue you in for 2 minutes. Central Province, and I'm saying words that I can back. In Central Province, on Monday, all those IEBC employees there, the little ones, I'm not talking about the commission, they were paid to staff the ballots with 200. There's a constituency in Central Province that did not even have enough ballots. I'm not saying this based on what you've seen being circulated online. No. I'm saying this based on it being reported directly to me by the person who was paid. And it's a lot of people who were paid. So by the time we were getting into people voting, there were ballots that were pre-marked, and those ballots were found, by the way. They were only marked the president, and there was only one president who was marked. It was Deputy President Ruto for almost 800,000 ballots. The ballot papers were just marked President Ruto and nobody else. So that is an irregularity that just since you Kenya Kwanza guys are so blind, you don't want to see. Let me just clue you in. Those are irregularities that are making this mzee go to the Supreme Court. If Baba was tired and he didn't want to go to the Supreme Court, believe me, we as these people, we were going to go to the Supreme Court somehow. So it is wrong. This should not happen to the next person. The MCAs, the MPs, it's not about Baba only. The MCAs, the MPs who have lost because of Kuibiwa. That is, it is so unfair. Somebody spending their 2 million that maybe they have saved for their whole life to go there and run for election, kwao wanakula mboga peke yake, alafu anaibiwa, anarudi nyumbani amelose because somebody else who wenye ni wajanja wameiba is wrong. I saw Governor Waiguru. Now I want to hear who's going to argue with me here. Governor Waiguru conceded. She conceded defeat. The following day, things changed. She was handed the ticket. So things have been done very crooked for Kenya Kwanza, and it's going to be found out. And when you say 5 more seconds, please. And when you say that everything is gonna go okay, transition is gonna go okay, WSR is gonna be what is it called? He is going to be appreciated. Let me tell you, there is the loudest silence from the president of our country, and that is Kenyatta. That is the loudest silence. That should make you guys scratch your head and think twice. Loudest silence from the top government officials. Mr. Patrick said that we had the equipment to make sure we win this election. Let me tell you, maybe they just let it go like that. We didn't want to use the equipment. So be very careful, because this could have been a very big trap, and things are going to unravel very soon. Thank you for giving me time.
Arama, if you allow
I just wanted to ask one thing.
It's going to 9.
Sam.
I need to read something about news.
Sam, hold on a moment, Sam. Yeah, go ahead, Munso.
Yes, now it's like 2 minutes to 9 a.m. here in Kenya, and I know where you are. It's 1 a.m. going to 2 a.m.
Yes.
So we want to remind the viewers on the tackle that most of the opinions that are held here are not opinions of the tackle. They're individual opinions of people. And most of these people, when they give their opinions, like Gordon Opio has, and like Doro and other people, they have their evidence. So indeed, it is not the opinion of the tackle. It is opinion of our guests, and they have their evidence. So do not start sending panic texts about as anything you have heard. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, like Arama said, and it is the opinion of individuals. Just a brief news item that I have been sent here that I need to read. The Uhuru administration leaves behind 505 billion shillings pending bills. According to data from the Exchequer covering fiscal year to June 2022, national government pending bills rose by 40.4% from 350 billion at the end of June 21. So the administration is leaving 505. 89.9% of those bills accrue to state corporation. The rest is held by ministries and state departments. And mostly it is bills to cover arrears for contractors, suppliers, and remitted statutory and non-statutory deductions. Again, I want to repeat to the viewers who are sending frantic texts that the opinions of the people who are guests here are their own personal opinion. Do not judge Gordon, do not judge Doro. They have their evidence, and in case it comes to going to court, they will present that there. The tackle, we are unbiased and we are bold, we are credible, and we do inform you. Proceed, Arama.
Thank you so much. So for that quick update, guys, I know our discussion is getting quite heated up, but which is good. I like when we exchange ideas. I like, most importantly, also is we listen to each other. That to me is the most important thing. Patrick, I see your hand, so I'll give you a moment. But since I promised Kip a chance to speak because he only gave his opening remarks, so I need to give him a chance actually to state what he wanted to say. Just a quick note, guys. Also, on top of that, I just want you guys to note, and just to show you the importance of our country. And this is why that makes me actually come to this show and spend this time late night just to be here to participate. Just to let you know, currently, late last evening, a delegation from the US actually landed in Kenya, and one of my favorite senators, Chris Coons, who speaks fluent Swahili, is actually in the country. They are planning to meet the current president and the other candidates, the declared president-elect. They are planning to have meetings with them. Whatever they are going to discuss, I don't know. So guys, I just wanted to show you, not only are we seen as a beacon of democracy in the whole of Africa, so there is a lot riding on our process. And I just wanted to point out that the process that we have, actually, all of us need to give it a chance to go through the process and get to it. And I will give my remarks on some of my observations that I have regarding the process itself. I'm not going to speak about the politics of either side or whatever, but I'm just going to talk on process. So let me give Kip a chance to give his comments, and then I'll cycle back to you guys. Kip.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I think earlier there was a misunderstanding. I thought, it was opening remarks, so I didn't actually give my points. Thank you for this opportunity. Just, not to rebut or anything, but I'm just saying, if you have evidence of any misgiving or misdoing by government or opposition, please present it to authorities. There is no need of battling misinformation and making it look like this.
It's already presented.
Those are this show and any other show should not be a place of battling misinformation and disinformation. And I think that's the biggest undoing that is going to affect our country and our people. It's sad to see some of us. I mean, even for myself, I fell to misinformation. I'm not saying, we cannot all fall into that. There was, congratulatory messages to some people winning, and I bought to it. And I, of all the people, I know misinformation, how it looks like, how it operates, how it spreads. Yes. But I fell for it. So just to put that out there. So there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation. We shouldn't buy anything that we see online or hear from people and people who claim authority when they have no authority. Now, let me go to my points. My points are, IBC is a divided house. We don't know their points, but it looks like the four who are actually stepping out are the ones that were appointed not long ago. There's been pictures online circulating of some of those IBC officials visiting some offices. Your guess is as good as mine. I'll leave that one there. My point number 2, the current president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta. It's very disappointing, even if he knows there will be challenges in court and all other, things that Azimio are going to do. I think the most honorable thing is to congratulate the president-elect and then wait for the process that, but you cannot, he has taken sides already. We know he's taken sides. But we have good news for him. Whether he likes it or not, we will take the government because we won. Whether he likes it or not, he will go the Trump way. Trump did all he needed to do. And I support someone who said we need an investigation into attacks on the leadership of IEBC. You cannot go to people's offices and people doing their work and then attack them, and then you think you're above the law. Those people need to be tracked to court. And the last one, actually that was my last one, the attacks on the IEBC. I think we shouldn't forget that one. It's very important that that's an attempt, subversion of people's, rights. And I think every Kenyan should be a worried Kenyan if we're going to be allowing people doing their job to be attacked at work. And we congratulate the police officers who acted swiftly and without any instructions from the so-called the big office somewhere else. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bwana Kip, for your brief comments. I appreciate that. I see somebody else who has joined us. Huyu jamaa anakaa ni kama wakili hivi, if I'm not wrong. Bwana Towet, correct me if I'm wrong, Bwana. Looks like you're dressed to go to court. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Towet. I'm an advocate of the High Court.
Mm-hmm.
And someone asked me to join this meeting because there are matters of contemporary law that we are supposed to look into.
Okay.
In terms of the presidential election, especially when we are talking about the functions of the Chebukati as the presidential returning officer.
Mm-hmm.
I've had input from many people and I agree with them. And I might not quite well capture on maybe the anomalies that played part in the elections, but I will basically touch on the issues that were raised, that we would say that, when the constitution is followed and the electoral laws are followed properly, Chebukati cannot score a wrong goal, because the constitution categorically says under Article 138 that it is only the chairperson who is the returning officer of the presidential elections and nobody else. And other commissioners have no business in the presidential elections. And there need not to be a consensus between the commissioners of the commission, because these are things, numbers don't lie. And the constitution says properly, or I will talk about section 39 of our elections law, that is the Elections Act, that says that once elections has been done, they are going to be tabulated both electronically and others will be taken physically. The function now of the commission is to tally, to verify. After tallying and verifying, then the national tally now, the verification and tallying is done in the constituency level and it is announced. And that is the results that are going to be used in the presidential elections nationally, and nothing will change. It goes on in that section 39, part 3 of it, and says they will publish in the portal. So everything that has been published in the portal is commensurate to the results that were announced in the constituency level. for someone like Cherera to say that they were not involved in the tallying and verification in the national level is to score a wrong goal. Reason? Because they say publishing of the polling results are not for purposes of decision of the election, but they are for purposes of public information. So for Cherera to say that there was no, that they were not involved,
there was opaqueness,
means that is she working in the commission? Yes, she is working in the commission. So was she involved? Yes, she was involved, but she has discrepancies. The law says under section 39 sabbatical E, it is an amendment actually. Sabbatical 1E is an amendment, a recent amendment after the 2017, it came before the 2017. It says, when there is a discrepancy between the electronically transmitted and physically delivered results, the commission shall verify the results, and the results which is an accurate record of the results tallied, verified, and declared at the respective polling station shall prevail. What does it say? It comes to my earlier point. Whatever has been declared as the results in the constituency level by a returning officer at the constituency level are the final results. Now, the function of the returning officer, who is the presidential returning officer, is only to announce that which has been agreed upon, that which has been posted in the portal, and then tallied and verified. That is his function only. It goes on to say, in that section 39, that the chairperson may declare the candidate elected. It says the chairperson, not the commission. The chairperson may declare the candidate elected as the president before all the constituencies have transmitted their results. They said that, Cherera said that the presidential election were announced before all the results were in the IBC. Section 39 of the election laws says the chairperson can announce these results, even if there are other constituencies that have not calculated their results. So it is basically that you see the petition even that these people on the other side are trying to make, they have no grounds, because the grounds to this election petition are very clear. What there is, what the votes scrutinized, what they tallied, were they verified? Yes, they were verified for 6 consecutive days. The law says in 7 days, results should be announced, presidential results should be announced. So this I would say personally that it was a ploy to make sure that the 7-day statutorily provided days would be surpassed, so that any announcements thereafter will be null and void. So basically, people would say that results were marked. I've heard someone say that there were ballot papers that people were paid to stash them in the ballot boxes. Okay, I was not there, and we were not there, but what does it mean? Why wouldn't these discrepancies be raised in the polling station, and it should have been in the social media, in the newsrooms, that there were people who were paid to do so? To mean that people slept on their assignment. As many people had a government machinery, had resources, but do not employ enough agents to be able to root out these things that they are saying.
Wakili, just a quick question about something Doros raised about those ballots that were around 800,000. And I repeat, this is not opinion of the tackle, it is an issue was raised. Can you please tell us and the viewers how those ballot boxes are brought into the tallying center or into the polling station, and whether they are checked and verified that before they start being utilized, that they are empty to avoid the issue of ballot stuffing, and even after they have been they are full and they have been sealed, where they are stored, are there measures taken, constitutionally provided measures that are taken to ensure that nobody else had placed another ballot box there? Is there a system to verify those ongoings during the actual polling? Tafadhali Wakili, and sorry for disrupting.
Okay, if I get you so well, what you're asking is if the boxes, if they confirm if boxes are empty before voting starts.
Yes, and if after they are sealed where they are stored, it is confirmed that there was no other box before the first one is stored and that there is no new one that is being introduced into the storage area. Because I'm assuming that after it's full, it's put somewhere aside, of course. That there is a possibility somebody might smuggle another one. It sounds wild, but indeed, you know,
it's possible.
Wilder things have happened in this world. Anything is possible in this world. And when there are accusations that have been done, it is our duty as the Fourth Estate to find out whether there is a possibility or a probability, even if it is that, and I'm saying this tongue in cheek, 0.01 possibility that somebody might have bought a box from elsewhere, like Doro is saying. Wakili, kindly clear that out on how they check the empty boxes before the voting starts and the storage of those boxes that are full, and to ensure that no new pre-packed box is introduced in that storage area.
Okay, currently in Kenya, we have a subsidiary law to the IEBC Act. The subsidiary law to the IEBC Act says that on the day of election, in the morning, there will be agents of all the candidates running, and there will be agents of the IEBC. Their main purpose will be to make sure that the boxes are as required. I mean, the number is required from MCA all the way to the president. That is number one. Number two, that the boxes are empty. That's why you see photos of the boxes being overturned to make sure that there is nothing inside, and then it is closed. Then the presiding officer comes with the voting, with those papers you used to vote. And then they're assigned to the clerk, who will be peeling them one by one, then giving them to the voter. So for someone to say that there were people paid to stash the boxes with already marked ballot papers is to say that the agents of this time, as Mio, were not vigilant and were negligent. And not the law say that the law only helps the person who is vigilant, but does not help someone who is not vigilant. So we have gone to a step where we want to go to the court. The court will ask two questions, not a lot. Well, did you see anyone stashing the ballot papers? They would say yes. Did you raise an alarm? Because there is a provision that says you should raise an alarm with the presiding officer. It will be forwarded until the headquarters. They did not. So the evidence is basically something that's speculative. Nothing tangible that could be seen that people involved themselves in this malpractice. I will touch also on Article 138 of the Constitution that basically says that after counting the votes in the polling station, we are talking about the polling station, the IEBC shall tally and verify. You hear that the Alex of Kinacherera said they cannot verify the elections. There are two steps of verifying. It is verified in the polling station. They are verified in the constituency level. There are three actually, and then they are verified at the IEBC headquarters, that is Bomas. So this 138 sub-article 3C says, after counting the votes in the polling station, the IEBC shall tally and verify the count and declare the result. That result will not change because that is the result that is uploaded in form of 34 Form 34A. It will not change because it is going to be found in the portal of the IEBC. It goes on in Article 138 to say that a person who has won should have surpassed 50% plus 1. And number 2, should have 25% votes cast in more than half of the total counties. What does this mean? Chirira said that Azimio had 39, I guess, of 34, and this one had 39, right?
Yes.
So you know people who do not understand will say that we have 73 counties, or is it what?
Yeah, 73.
It is not true.
You had the number.
It is possible for two parties to surpass 25% mark in every county. That even 3 parties can surpass it. Yep. But now the threshold, this threshold is weaker than the first threshold. The first threshold said 50% plus 1. And I guess I have expounded well there. There is this issue of 0.01. We have people who have done arithmetic, calculus, and mathematics properly will tell you there are errors in calculation. And 0.01 is an error that can be truncated. It is a minimal error that if it is spread across those presidential election, there is 1,400, let's say 1,400 votes. If it is spread across, it forms, when you truncate a number that has decimal points, its addition will give a slight addition in the decimal points. A clear explanation is divide 100 divided by 3. You will get 33.33. Say 33.33 times 3, you will get 99.999. The initial number was 100. The number we are getting now is 99.9999. Where's the 0.01? That is a mathematical error that happens when decimal points are involved and when there is truncation. I'll rest my case.
Thank you so much. One of the things I just wanted to point out, and I see somebody else is joining, is one, I am a firm believer in processes, and people have to follow process. I don't know if the party that is going to court has already submitted their grievances to the court, and if it's available publicly, I don't know. Maybe you can tell us if they have. I haven't seen any news saying one way or the other. So I expect them to do that, and I expect to see this information coming out and people arguing in court, and so that we can learn. Because one of the things that I'm happy about this process is being followed is, and I want to take people back to the 2017 election petition, is even after the results, there was a lot of condemnation of the Supreme Court, the so-called Maraga Court, of what the decision they rendered and the reasoning they gave and the steps they instructed. But then I want to bring people back to the current election, and I pose just one question and say, if we did not follow the instructions the Supreme Court gave on the process of verifying the results to alleviate all these issues and actually providing this information publicly for everybody else to check it out, we'll be in worse chaos than where we are right now. So I just wanted to acknowledge that and say, hey, kudos to that Supreme Court, even though many people never agreed with their decision, but you can see that decision actually saved us a lot of headache in this time round. And to the point to one of the presenters who said, we are always in a process. And the more we go through the process and strengthening our system, we are going to get to a point whereby everything actually equalizes and we become a better nation by that. So to me, I strongly, even though I may have had reservation in the beginning, I say, you know what, election is over and let's move on. But I think also it's always good to allow people to go through the process so that the court also can give us a guidance and say, hey, guys, here is where we see a problem. Here is how we can avoid that problem in the future, so that the next time, the next commission, the next election, we add on top of what has already been recommended, so that we continue building a stronger IBC. Because my dream, Bwana Wakili, I've said in this show before, is to get to a point whereby IBC by itself conducts election, and there is no need of having polling agents, because everybody trusts the system. Everything is in place. We don't need to take, okay, we can take pictures to verify, but at least you don't need to have people there to physically look and say, hey, these people are counting. Because we build the system whereby everything is, to the highest extent, tamper-proof. There is always mischief. There's always people who are going to try to circumvent the system. But I want to see, my aspiration is to see that we get to a point whereby having polling agents, or we call them polling agents, yeah, there's no need for them to have them there physically to look when people are counting. So maybe that will involve us using electronic machines to scan the votes, and then it automatically counts. Therefore, there's no question. And the scanning also retains an image. If you have an issue, we can go back and look at it and have a physical count. That is the process we need to go through. So I actually applaud the process of going to court for that one basic reason, that at the end of the day, all this information we are getting from everybody, one side saying this never happened, the other side saying this is what happened. Let people, because the court is a court of evidence. You have to provide evidence. Wakili, you know that. You can't go to court and claim something. You'll be stripped of your status if you go and say something happened and you don't have any evidence. You know, they will kick you out. If correcting me if I'm wrong in that instant. But I think there is rules of evidence and presentation of evidence. You can't come and say nilisikia fulani akisema, that's hearsay. You can't say that. You need to provide physical evidence and proof. If somebody says I was an agent, I raised this issue with the returning officer, he never did anything, is it recorded? Did you record? Or if you have witnesses who had you say it, then you produce witnesses, and then we proceed from there. So I think that's where I would like to see our country move to, so that we get to a point where we trust our process and our systems and our institutions. I think it's Isaac who said that we need to continue strengthening our institutions so that we can make a better country. That is my contribution, or my 2 cents, so to speak, in this juncture. So guys, as we are coming kind of winding down this session for today, I just want to give the remaining participants who are here, and I know someone else just joined us, quickly, 1 minute to give your closing remarks, and then I'll go back to Mso to give us maybe any updates on the news that has hit our desk, and then we can close out the show. So let me start with Chepto. Welcome to the show, and if you have something to say, please. All right. Oh, okay. She's there. All right. Looks like she muted again. All right. Hi, Bwana Gordon. Let me come to you and give you a moment to. I know you said you wanted to respond to something, and this will also be your closing remarks. For a minute, please. You have to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much for giving me this chance to give my closing remarks.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, first of all, give a response to the claims of vote stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think anyone who has been on the ground in the last 1 year will actually tell you that anyone on the Kenya Kwanza, on the Ruto side, really had no chance to do anything fishy. Because we had a lot of involvement of public servants. We had a lot of engagement, involvement of the security agencies. So I don't think anybody would have done anything stuffy. I mean, anything like stuffing votes on from the Kenya Kwanza side. Because the truth is that even where I'm in Western Kenya, I operate between Western Kenya and Uganda. Kenya Kwanza really didn't even have agents. I mean, most of their accounts were closed. They went to the elections literally broke. So they even didn't have agents in most of these places in Bungoma and Trans Nzoia didn't have Kenya Kwanza agents because
Gordon, do you
people
mean
are basically.
Kenya Kwanza or Azimio agents? Who did not have agents on the ground?
I'm saying Kenya Kwanza didn't have the kind of resources, the money to match what Azimio had.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Azimio had billions. I mean, they were flowing in cash. So you really can't expect people who are well, first of all, backed by government, backed by state agencies, and backed with billions to not have agents to verify what's going on the ground, and expect a team that has at the side that all their banks accounts have been shut down. They don't have any kind of extra backing from government resources to actually do something as crazy as stuffing ballots and not to be called out or just be noted out. That's one thing I just wanted to just give that. I mean, let's just talk about the balance of probability. Without even if you want to give speculation, you give at least speculation that can be verifiable. So that was what I wanted to speak about the staffing thing. On my closing remark, I think it's really whatever is going on is really hurting the economy. I operate from the border, Malaba and Busia borders, and you usually have like 200, 300 trucks every day by evening trying to cross the border. But in the last 1 week, you get only 10, 20 trucks. I mean, the guys are hurting, and I think it will only be sensible if all these games are stopped and people are honest. If you have any evidence, let us move to the Supreme Court and basically let life move on, because it's really hurting Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hey, my friend Frida, nilikuwa nimefikiri leo umenilenga. Welcome back. Ningepigia kabando kidogo alafu ndio ujoin, but karibu sana. Give you a chance to say something.
Araba wewe wacha siasa bana. Hi everyone. I have actually been listening to the contributions, and it's quite interesting and dynamic. But it's also true that I think it's a bit one-sided. So I think we need to find a way where we can have more voices so that it doesn't become a kind of an echo chamber for people here. Yeah.
Yes.
Having said that, first I will start by congratulating the president-elect, Dr. Ruto. Really, what a race and what a run that he had on this particular one. And I learned something actually on a personal level, that whatever it is that you want, put measures in place to make sure that at least you're somewhere near reaching it. And, like he looked at, quote unquote, the beast in the eye and said that I am ready and willing to go after you. Of course, I have to say that I was a bit surprised by the narrow margin by which this election was won. And also surprised by the voter turnout, that across the country, not just in one area, we were thinking that it would be about 75%, or at least that is what even the fake pollsters were telling us. But it didn't really turn out that way. So I think it's something to be looked at, although a lot of people have been saying that Kenyans are tired of politics and they don't trust their leaders. But, for me, the question that I was asking is, we saw rallies that were very, very well attended on both sides of the political divide. I mean, if you look at the rally that was in Kasarani for the former prime minister, that was a real show of might. And for Kenya Kwanza also had quite a strong showing at Nyayo. I think they were at Nyayo. Yeah. But then it seems that it didn't really translate into votes, because even in Nairobi, I think it was 65% of turnout. Yeah, so there's something to be looked at in terms of kwa nini watu wanaenda kwa rally, lakini ikifika wakati wa kupiga kura, they sort of don't show up. Yeah, so that was interesting for me. I think frustrating, like for everybody else, is what happened at the time of announcing of the results at at the Bomas.
Mhm.
I was really shocked. I thought that I was watching a movie when it was clear that there's something that was happening when results were supposed to be announced at 3, and then it was moved, and then later it was almost announced when it was almost starting to get dark. But I really like the opinions that have been brought here. I think his name is Tony, in terms of what is in the law and what was Chebukati, or the law according to the interpretation of Tony, and what was Chebukati supposed to do when he is the returning officer for the presidential vote, and the commissioners are not agreeing. The question is, are they supposed to vote on already the vote that Kenyans have already voted on? And in my layman's thinking, I think my answer is no. The results are there. They are in an open portal, whether we call it a server or a portal. Even members of the public actually added up those results that were in the portal, including the tackle, actually. I kept following what the tackle was adding up. I think they are called Mlango also. There were, I think, actuarial scientists that were adding these results up, and we knew where it was going, although it was with a narrow margin. So it's really crazy to see all these theatrics that are now going on about the 0.01% that amounts to 140,000 votes. It's just ridiculous. And to talk about how opaque the process was, when it has been lauded even by the international community and the observers to have been one of the best run elections, not only in Kenya, but something that Africa could also borrow from. So for me, it's disappointing because I thought that the loser of this election was going to concede defeat. Because I don't know how more transparent an election could be when members of the public have access, when the media has access, when political parties have access. And then what was also, I think, shocking is that Azimio didn't have any tallying center because they just kept throwing numbers around. And when people asked them, where WAPI numbers and where are your numbers, they never showed us any numbers. Kenya Kwanza did, and they set up quite a well-stocked or well-staffed, let's say, tallying center. So yeah, for me, it's really disappointing also what is going on. And I think that the inner circle of Raila, maybe also starting with his family, I think they need to tell the politicians enough is enough. And in my opinion, and this is my opinion, there comes a time when we have to protect the people that are near us and the ones that we love, forget about the political interests that are around, because it just seems a bit embarrassing at this point. But of course, I think I say that because I'm a supporter of Kenya Kwanza. I have to confess that. But I would be looking forward to see what is the evidence that will be brought in Supreme Court about this particular election. I think I will end it there so that everybody else can have the opportunity to speak. And thank you. Oh, no, sorry. I just wanted to mention quickly about the whole point about ballot staffing. Mm-hmm. I joined, I don't know who is it that brought that up. I think it's impossible to do ballot staffing because of the way that the election is run. And first of all, people are identified by the Kim's kit. And I think Tony has also gone through that, how it goes, and Gordon as well. So how can people that were backed by the government and whatever it's called, the system or the deep state, how can you come to tell us that there was ballot stuffing in this particular election that is amounting to 800,000 votes? In my view, that's a bit pedestrian and ridiculous, to be honest. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bwana Alfred, I'm just going down the line trying to give people a chance to say something. Oh, Nonagana Sam is ready to give his closing remarks. So let me jump to Sam and then I'll come to you, Alfred. Sam.
Is it Sam or Sam? Or Sam?
Sam. Oh, My friend, I'm sorry. Hii ni wani yangu na
No, it's okay. It's okay. I've stayed for quite long without contributing anything, but that is okay as we conclude.
Yes.
How I saw this election is the election was successful in terms of, two sides that were measured on, two different behaviors. One was organized, the other one was disorganized, and organized in terms of the preparation prior and, during the day and after the election. And that is why you see how Kenya Kwanza, won, this election. And then another thing is, I think there's someone who talked about allegation of, ballot stuffing. And, I myself, I remember I've worked as a polling clerk sometimes back in the year 2007. And it is impossible, for someone to stuff any ballot in a polling station. So that impossibility, that possibility is neither here nor there. So even we don't need to discuss about that, because those are allegations that, someone can make his or her own allegation to come and, maybe just to taint all the process. Otherwise, the process was free and fair. Going back to how the turnout of election was, on average, it was 65%. Meaning, if you see clearly, each polling station, we have around 46,232 polling in Kenya, and each polling station has a maximum of 700 voters each polling station. So when you narrow it down at 65%, it shows you it was each polling station or those people who voted in a polling station were about 350 to 400, 400 people. And when you translate to this and, try to connect to what the lady was talking about, allegation of stuffing ballot, it is impossible, And my cue is all these people were identified through KMSKI, except those, those counties. Is it, I think, West county in Kakamega or what? I think only that county. So, if yes, indeed, someone is saying that this election was compromised, it is hard to prove. Even if someone who will go to Supreme Court today and try to argue that this election was compromised, you will have a hard nut to crack and really demonstrate that it was compromised. Another thing is, when we see how media was, the media, the leading media stations in Kenya were doing their own tallying, and it reached a point whereby these guys they stopped doing their own tallying. It shows you something, that there were forces behind it that were trying to manufacture some certain, results in favor of a certain candidate, which didn't work. Because I remember even, I think even Kenyans themselves even went ahead to rely on international media that were doing their own tallying. For example, like Reuters and BBC. So it shows you the forces behind this election, what was going on. And my cue is we should laud Chebukati for standing with the rule of law, and he decided to demonstrate to Kenyans what needs to be done, And if you stand with the rule of law, nothing will hurt you. Despite the fact that there are a lot of intimidation here and there. For example, these people, 2017 there was Chris Musando who died, in line of duty. Mm-hmm. And this year again there is this gentleman Musyoka, and it seems that IBC to work for an IBC, it needs to be it's one of 1,000 1,000 ways to die, and sorry, and now I think going forward, this issue of IBC needs to be relooked into, and especially how we recruit commissioners. I think that is where the problem is, because if you see commissioners who are new commissioners and then they take sides and go away, it means these people they had their own interest from the word go. Even if the recruitment process itself, it seems it was flawed, because as a commission you need to stand out, and fine that the chair has the final say. That's how that's what the constitution says. It is not something that assume that we have today. Anyone can speak in the commission. So each commissioner can declare his or her own results, which is another thing that it will precipitate to chaos in the country. So for me, that what Chebukati and the team, the 3 commissioners did, it was very much okay within the law, and we should love them for that. And going forward, I will still urge Kenyans to still maintain peace wherever they are, because what matters is their own daily living. Leave alone politicians. Politicians will play their role, and there is no politician who can bring you food on the table. You need to fight for yourself. The only thing that maybe a good politics can do is just to give you a good working environment in terms of you to do your own business and grow your family. Otherwise, let's Kenyans maintain peace, stay as one people, because we are one people. We are one brothers and sisters for one nation. So peace is paramount. Let them maintain peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Banasan. Ambassador.
Yes, sir.
Inaonekana hii cheo lazima tutaimake official very soon, uwe diaspora ambassador.
Kwanza mimi sitoki Australia, hapa napaki tu na ninasonga tu kwa ofisi.
Okay.
On a very serious note is that, like I said earlier, elections was very free and fair, to be sincere. In terms of, apart from that, it was, me, I didn't support anyone, to be sincere, Joe. What we do online is you don't want to show your area of cover, because sisi ni watu tunataka kuwa kwa serikali yoyote ile inaingia, sisi tunataka kukua. In politics there are those who finance, there are those who would be there morally and financially and all this. Sisi tuko huko in all aspects, because we want to be having the pie all through. But kama ulishindwa usiweke kwa roho, kwa iishe, tufanye kazi pamoja, tujenge Kenya. Muhimu ni Kenya yetu. Politicians will come and go. I will tell you this, in the next 10 years, anyone, hata wewe Arama, you can be president.
Yeah.
The unfortunate parties or the fortunate parties, going forward, the elections haitakuwa na ile, when Raila was there, even if he has been losing, he's been giving people a run for their money, to be sincere. Let us give him that. And he's been a great opposition leader for a while. He's been, apart from the handshake, and people are not mentioning that Raila would have won, despite the fact that alisalamiana. Unajua salamu ilimharibia, and if he came in as Raila himself, angechukua mapema sana. Surprisingly, I was not even expecting that thing to be as close as less than 200,000 votes. I was thinking it was going to be a 3 million thing. Kumbe mzee ako na watu. So let's appreciate that as well. So like I said earlier, let us give the people who have won time and support to propel us forward. Sisi wengine kama raia tuone vile tutasaidia na tusaidiane pia. But I want us now to focus more. Tusikuwe pia na kama watu wenye tunang'ang'ana na kugombana na kufuatilia ile yaliyopita. Walisema yaliyopita si ndwele. Alafu yule gavana wetu alisema yake, but sahi she is the governor na alishinda chama na UDA. Unaona vile hii maisha inaenda. So let us be fair enough and focus more. Tumesikia maneno ya wakili, tunajua next week mtakuwa mnatuambia Kiingereza mingi tena kule kotini, but if you guys would make it short, brief and precise to the point, so that to reduce time spent, because now we want to focus. A lot of international community want to come and invest in Kenya now, since that wameona wa Kenya ni watu wazuri. So let us be quick on that and focus. I just want to urge our fellow tacklers here that from the county that you are from, let us forge ahead and push for a diaspora engagement unit. Yes. Tuliona juzi, most of us did not vote, mostly here in Australia. Though asubuhi tukiamuka mimi napigiwa simu mpaka watu ya NTV, did you vote? Tell us how the voting was. I was like, we don't even know what was happening in Kenya.
Yeah.
So I would urge every member who is in this forum
Yes.
to focus and push for diaspora engagement unit in your county, so that we have a say in those little counties and areas that we come from. We see how we can support our counties. We see also how we can engage and support our loved one, and also how we can take investors through that department. We send a lot of money back home, but when it comes to decision making, we are not given opportunity to also say. We are not given opportunity to participate. We are not given opportunity to put forward what we think is right for us back home. So I'm urging you all, let us push for that position. Let us engage our governors. Let us engage our leaders. And also, if possible, we will be able also to engage even the incoming presidents, that we have a department that will deal with the diaspora nationally. Despite the fact that we have the foreign affairs one, but we have one that we also deal with it as a department, so that we feel represented. We feel also that we are giving opinions towards, even if it's only on advice on governance and all this. And also, many of us have networks down here, and we would want those networks to be channeled through to our people. So let us push for that, so that we can engage well. So asanteni sana, Mungu wabariki, tuonane next week.
Thank you so much. Bwana Wakili, I saw you had a point to make. Vile Alfred amesema maneno fupi, thou and thou shall not, na hiyo mambo ingine tupunguze kidogo, wacha tuwe
inaitwa
kidogo.
Jurisprudence amicus curiae.
Sijui amicus sijui wa wapi sasa, hata amicus sijui ni nani. Anyway, Bwana Toet, give us your closing remarks.
Okay, so just a short one is the issue of quorum of the IEBC. Initially when we were doing the BBI petition, there was a big question around how many people in the IEBC can constitute the number of people that can say their declaration can bind the IEBC.
Yeah.
And the people in Kenya Kwanza are really enjoying the ride, because it is the misdeeds of the BBI proponents that made it that only 3 commissioners of any commission can make a binding decision on behalf of the commission. So that I cannot split hairs, let me speak to Article 250, sub-article 1 of the Constitution, that says that a commission shall have a minimum of 3 and a number not more than 9 commissioners. It is true that we have 7 commissioners in the IEBC. The BBI case, the BBI matter, among the decisions that were made in the Supreme Court was that IEBC with only 3 commissioners was fully constituted. What does it tell us about the declaration of the presidency? It tells us that if 4 commissioners left and went to Serena and said that we are not part of the decision, and 3 remained, the constitutional threshold has been garnered. It has been achieved. And I'm waiting for the same councils, same learned councils, to go and want to bring back the gains that they were fighting for in the Supreme Court. One Muthoni Thiong'olu, a renowned advocate here in Kenya who was practiced for a very long time, a senior of mine, said that the issue of fighting for things because it favors the status quo is really biting back on the Azimio side. And now again, the issue of commissioners. These commissioners were appointed 1 year ago. The IEBC Act contemplates that the commissioner should be 3 years old before any elections is done. What does it tell you about their move to prevent Chebukati from giving election results? It tells you that whatever they are claiming does not have a footing in law, is not hinged in the law, because the law disowns them not being mature enough to make any valid declaration that is binding on the commission. And number two, that IBC was fully constituted when it made the declaration of presidency. I rest my case.
Wakili, before going, is it true that Okiya Omtata has filed a suit declaring the appointment of these 4 commissioners unconstitutional and that they're in office illegally because of whatever you've just quoted, that they should be 3 years? Is it true? There has been a rumor circulating online. I don't know whether you can highlight that. And also the issue about the commission being quarried. Is it from the Kiai ruling or is it part of the Elections Act?
It's true there's a petition in court, in the High Court, by Okiya Omtata. But right now, I think Okiya Omtata has been compromised a bit because he has been seen singing the songs of the other side. So he has become partisan so far. Although the sponsoring party to his senatorial bid is a party on its own, but you see, we look at the body language, basically, and try to derive where your stand is. And yes, there is a petition in court that seeks to bar the 4 commissioners from attending to anything matters elections in this year until they are fully matured in office, that is surpassing 3 years.
Okay. And that will not affect the commission because the Kiai ruling declared that 3 commissioners are quarried to serve, whether it's in a presidential election or a by-election or an MCA. Is it, are you quoting that authority or is it something that is in the Elections Act? The Kiai ruling about BBI.
Yes. The minor Kiai ruling was basically about the quarried. I like the legal terms you're using. It seems that you do a lot of research. IBC is quarried when it has 3 commissioners. When it lacks, when it is less than 3 commissioners or any commission, Article 250 speaks to any commission in the country. Any commission that has 3 commissioners is quarried. This is the decision of the BBI, the BBI case that was done in the Supreme Court. That is according to that case. The Maina Kiai case that these people are trying to use are saying that there should be consultation and there should be a meeting of minds and there should be meeting of minds of the commissioners. Because they say if the chairperson is the one to decide, then they have arrogated a lot of powers to the chairman. But again, the Constitution and the Elections Act is very clear that the only presidential returning officer is the chairman. And up to there, it seems that whoever is trying to fight what is in the law will be biting the bolt.
So he did not declare as the chairman. He declared as the national returning officer. His capacity as the national returning officer, unlike his capacity as the chairman of the commission.
That is very true.
I think that should be clarified also for the people who are saying about the issue of the commission, is that at this point when Chebukati was declaring, he was acting in his capacity as the national returning officer, as much as indeed he's still the same person as the chairman. Thank you, Wakili, for clarifying that. Aram, over to you.
All right, thank you so much. Bwana Kibleting, let me come to you, give your final remarks while I go down the line and so that we can wind down the show.
Wow, thank you so much. I've had a lot, listened to each and every opinion, and it is amazing to listen to that, the contribution that have been made. Mm-hmm. I want to say I was really a Kenya Kwanza supporter, but when things looked like it was not working, I had to do a soul searching. I sat down, tried to reflect on the incidences and few things. But as the message that about the ballot staffing was coming in, I started thinking of it looks this is not true, and it is real that Kenya Kwanza have won fair and square. Why? Check the information from the Hillock. In the polling station, there are observers. In the polling station, there are agents. In the polling station, there are police, there are POs, there are ROs, there are clerks. all these people within this mass of number, I could not be convinced that they can just be told this box is not empty with 700, with 200 ballot papers. So I was really to say that I need to say I support and congratulate my our president-elect WSR after winning. And so that takes us to say the tallying issue was not so much because Chebukati reiterated severally when he always gave a press that you guys don't come and stay in Bomas. You go to the polling stations and just do it. And that is why when I was doing an opening statement, I said, the secretariat of the Azimio, I think, messed up. They dropped the ball along the way. They are those who never deployed and used the available resources enough to deploy, because some of you, some of my friends were complaining that they were party agents and they could not be paid. They could not take lunch. They depended to Kenya Kwanza agents. It looks like within the Azimio, there are those who are riding on the name of the Baba. And that is why I say Baba is a good person. But these guys who are within him, the circle looks like they are not what? They are not even like, they are too selfish and they do not want Baba to win fair and square. And that is why when we ask about, can you guys give us the link so that we follow what you are telling? Edwin Sifuna just came on and posted some numbers that were not adding up later on, and we were like, oh, this is amazing. And when we just checked with the Kenya Kwanza, every time they could update us on the tallying. And I say, I think this is a fair and square a win for Kenya Kwanza. And lastly, I think we should take a keen and careful thing on the social media propaganda. I was on all the platforms, and it was so amazing on the propaganda that could be relayed, what could be the messages that could be written. It could even convince you. I imagine that the guys of Babu Owino and the Azimio guys who are so much on the platform could just continue to say, we are winning, and yet when you listen to the supporters, they are saying the numbers are not adding up from the portal. And these guys are saying, no, friends, we are winning. Even the first day when we have checked on the tally, we have did the tally because it was an issue of calculator, and you could just have the summation. And I checked with it and said, this propaganda just brought us to this mess that we saw in the Bomas on Monday. It was not to be that, because it was a fair and square deal that Kenya Kwanza had won on issue of the numbers. And if there is any irregularities that could have been seen along the way, then it could be recorded down and then taken it to the SCOK, the Supreme Court of Kenya, that these are some of the things that were being left. We agree that the presidential elect have been announced, but we don't agree with the results. And in fact, I remember Gerera was being interviewed and she was asked, what are your results? And she's like, we do not have results by now. You see, when you are contesting of something, or you are giving an opinion, you have something that you are contrasting on. You are saying, Chebukati announced this, but I have this that I came into the finality. And that is why we have disparity. And we are deciding that we cannot announce this because we have this that we came up with. And when you just came and say, no, because of the figures that are, it could not, it made some of the followers of the supporters of the key supporters of the Azimio to just fall back and say this thing is state managed. Check on the presser. The presser were exactly done at the time when Joe came in. I was following the whole event. Joe came in, arrives at the Bomas. Joe left, and all of a sudden Chebukati comes into stage, and the press and the screen is divided into two, so that the screen is split, so that Cherera speaks on the other side, and Chebukati is coming to sit to make up to come on the podium. That was amazing. I could just say, how can this? There is nothing coincident in politics. Politics is so much arranged. in such a way that everything else is happening at a time that we anticipate to happen. And that is why we can just move on. And lastly, friends, it is time to go to work. Whether we came from any other camp and dyads, being the dyads of Azimio, being the dyads of Kenya Kwanza, it's time to get back to work and build our nation. What I am anticipating and praying for is that we build a strong institutions. Of course, throughout the process that I've gone to the Supreme Court, we have improved into the electoral the Electoral Commission. We have really improved on the processes that they are doing. And as long as we are also going there to even this round, more of the caps that were being left will be closed and the improvement could be done. So I rest my case that all this, let us get back to work, let us build our nation. And from the diaspora constituency, I say, ongera to all of us who marshal our resources, engage our relatives so that they can go and vote. For all of us who voted from away from home, then we did our part, and it is time to now supervise those who are leaders that took over. We need to engage them, we need to oversee them, and we need to tell them it is time to go to work, as reiterated by the president-elect yesterday. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Bwana Kipleting. Bwana Keja, are you still with us, ama umelala?
Niko hapa.
All right. The stage is yours.
Mnataka niongee?
Yeah. Final remarks.
Final remarks. Hii yenye imekuwa mingi. Final remarks. You people, mmeongea mingi, man, but none of you made sense because you don't know what's in the future. Okay. So this is what you're gonna do. Let us accept Ruto to be president. Maisha yaanze kuendelea. There are processes that are there for the courts to go, and if Raila is going, aende. But manene ballot stuffing, everything else, we don't have evidence about it. We're just talking about it. So much speculation, so much everything. Unajua, mpaka mnaleta lawyer, I'm like, you guys are giving me a headache. You guys are giving me a headache.
Yeah.
All of you people have watched news and you're just revising what you watch in the news. You know, that's the sad bit. That's not the tackle.
Yeah.
You just don't go and watch news and then you come and rehash what you saw. Oh, I saw this. None of anybody who did the final remarks read anything. Hakuna mtu alisoma kitu. Ni story after story after story after story. Nobody, apart from the lawyer over here, nobody else has read anything. Which is so sad as diasporans. So sad that you people watch the news and you follow that. Very sad. Very, very sad.
Huh? Mm-hmm.
So sad. Diasporans, you guys have to do better. You guys have to do better. Don't be listening to all this easy my WhatsApp, my nini. Do your research, man. Because you're the people who are gonna grow this country. We are the ones who spend all that money. Out of all these people who talked, ask them how many who know who the MCA is, where they send their money to their grandmother.
I don't.
Yeah? But your grandmother, watu wenyu watawapigia next week.
Mm-hmm.
Lakini nyinyi wote, mko mnalia Ruto na Raila. Lakini hamjui MCA, ule anakula pesa yenyu. Pesa ya nyanya yenyu.
Yep. That's true.
And remember I said, find out who your MCA is. Nobody has talked about MCA. Nobody has talked about MP. Nobody has talked about governor. We all about who the president is. What is the president gonna do for you? Like really, what is the president gonna do for you if Raila won, Ruto won tomorrow? Utakula aje? How will your family? Ile pesa utakuwa unatuma sini ile pesa ama itapunguka? That's what we call final remarks. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Kejav. You actually given us a challenge, and I appreciate that. We need to come and a bit better so that we can provide a little bit of more guidance and actually show that we can assess things in a much higher level than where we are. So Doro, I'm giving you you have the last word to give remarks. Then I'll go back to the studio for so to give us any updates, and then we can close down the show.
Okay, can you hear me now? I keep on talking when I'm on mute.
Yes.
Well, I have a few bullet points, and I'll address the Keja one first. You just say that nobody spoke about MCAs, MPs, and everybody. I did. I brought that up. And the other one I want to address is Kip. Kipleting. Kipleting said that immediately when Joho walked into Bomas of Kenya, is when Chebukati walked out and media went to try to, whoever, what are they called? The commissioners went to give their speech.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody anticipated that. No one. I do get a lot of inside information, but I had no clue that there was going to be a sideshow on that day. I was waiting for Chebukati's face to walk out of that back, whatever. So what happened is Baba came to Bomas of Kenya. For those who keep on saying Baba didn't come, Joho was in Baba's motorcade. He came in with a guy, one of Baba's senior agents, to go clarify the results with Chebukati. When the clarification failed back there, when Joho was there, that's when they told Baba that he needed to go back. He didn't need to come in. And when that happened, these commissioners apparently had left, from what I heard later, had left. So when they started being interviewed, when the screen was split, communication went to Chebukati. Chebukati rushed. We had been waiting for this guy the whole day, but he rushed out of nowhere. He wanted to give that declaration right away. And then that's when Azimio people caused whatever chaos they did, and I do not condone that, by the way. So that's my bullet point number 2. Bullet point number 3 was to address the lawyer who spoke earlier. You spoke about that the 3 commissioners were there, so that means the commission was properly
constituted.
Correct. No, the other 3 commissioners absconded. Nobody signed anything. Nobody even stood with them. Chebukati was alone with the Ruto family and the other guy's family. What's his name? Gachagua. So the other 3 commissioners absconded. Yes, they did not say that they are doing away with the results like the other ones did, but they did abscond the process. They were not there, just so you know. And I'm surprised we were watching the same TV. So those are just side things. My last word I wanted to say, just so you all know, don't think I'm just sitting here being an unreasonable Azimio guy. There was one person who beat all the odds. He's a friend of mine. He was running for the Nyaribari Chache seat. This guy, he's Indian, was born and raised in Kisii, ran a good campaign, and through UDA, by the way, and I supported him. And I never hid it. I posted it on my wall, I would post Baba's picture and his picture at the same time. Supported him to the end. He won fair and square with a UDA ticket. But the things that this guy went through was hell, because he was being called yeye ni beberu, yeye ni muwindi, munazaje chagua mtu mwenye. And this guy was born and raised in Kisii. He went through all that. Yani racism, wacha tu yake hivyo, but he beat the odds and he won it, and I'm so proud of him. So it's not to me, it's not about just being Azimio or UDA, and I have to defend. If Azimio mess up, oh my goodness, I'll be the one sitting here and talking a lot of crap. Somebody brought up an idea, something about ASNOT having enough agents on some polls. That is true. That was our goofer. But still, that did not constitute Tuibiwe. So, asanteni sana. It was nice engaging with all of you, though I felt alone, but that's okay. Thanks.
Rama, let me say this finally, yeah? Just 1 second. You know, kuibiwa is just a lazy thought of kind of a thing that people normally use it as a scapegoat. It is neither here nor there. Okay? And in any case, when you are more than 10 times, you know, as you see, you need to decide a way on how to come out of this.
We are talking of the 2022 Kura, yeah, 2022. Did you want to tell me you forgot that ballots were found in a house pre-marked for Deputy President Ruto and the guys were arrested? You want to tell me you forget that little detail? You know that. So let's just be real with each other. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Umso, you have anything any updates to give?
We do need to wind up the show. It
Yes,
is 10:13 in Nairobi, Kenya. It is probably 3:13 in New York and 3:13 a.m. in New York. At least we are on the same day because I guess there's somebody somewhere who's probably still in Wednesday. Somebody in Honolulu, Hawaii. It's
Yes.
9:14 in Honolulu, Hawaii. And here on The Tackle, we appreciate Diaspora Day because these are the people who are slaving literally out there to keep their families and the economy of this nation vibrant. So your input is highly valued here on The Tackle. We have a few news here and there. The U.S. delegation, like you had mentioned, Darama, is here at home to, have a sitting. And like I can see, a delegation from the United States is here to meet with top leaders after the disputed election, which the deputy president was declared president-elect, and the U.S. Embassy said the delegation, like you had mentioned, was led by Delaware Senator Chris Coons, and it is stopping in Africa during it's stopping in Kenya during its 5 African nations tour, and they will meet the president, his deputy, as well as Raila Odinga. Meg Whitman, the U.S. ambassador to Kenya, said the delegation will also discuss shared goals, health, security, and economic prosperity during the meeting. I saw during the election period, over and over, guys were complaining that the Kenyan embassy in the U.S. does not treat the Kenyans in the U.S. as they would want to be treated. That's a topic, Karama, probably we should discuss here on The Tackle, because we know there are people who want The Tackle and who can push those issues forward. We would still want you to feel comfortable away from home. Interestingly, in Kisumu, yesterday, outgoing Migori Governor Zachary Okoth-Obado has rallied the Luo community to support the president-elect, noting he harbors no hatred for his community. And he was speaking on a local radio station called Radio Namlolwe. And he's saying, he's not a bad person. Let nobody worry that Ruto will frustrate our people. He can't do that. Obado has done his 2 terms. There is also a section of news I wanted us to talk about because you people, you are in diaspora and sometimes things come about you who are there and we consume them, like somebody has mentioned about false news. There was a rumor about Ngugi wa Thiong'o being, like he had passed away. We can see reports here that have been sent to us that that needs to be fact-checked because it might not be true. His son said on Monday that that is not true. His son, Mukoma wa Thiong'o. So we saw that circulating, and even some people sent condolences. Even some people in diaspora did send condolences. Ngugi has been living in the U.S. for the longest time. So I guess that's why people always, when they hear somebody who's not been home so long, and, he's old, he's 84 years old. So, of course, people are all eyebrows raised. But his son tweeted that the gentleman is alive. So I really, really, really appreciate all the sentiments taken to note. Arama, over to you. You can close shop. And the tacklers who are watching from Nairobi, I can see some of you are sending me messages. Ambia hawa to a US ABCD. No, you join us on the tackle, you post on the page, because these people are not in the US. The world is a global village right now. We can all hear each other. We can all feel each other. Everything is real time. So anything we want to share about politics, we do not want people in the diaspora to feel like they are being secluded or set aside, and that's essentially why the tackle has the diaspora edition. So because of time, maybe we can wind up so that we can move to other people.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much, Mso, for your quick updates. I just wanted to, my friend Frida left the show. I just wanted to let her know, just a quick reminder, even with the 2017 election, the observers still said the election was fair and credible, but then the Supreme Court disagreed with them. And it was actually led with one gentleman that I respect very much, that is former Secretary of State, John Kerry. So at the end of the day, we are a nation, independent and sovereign. We need to follow our local systems. Observers are just that, observers. So they have their opinion. But like I say, I'm a champion, and I always uplift the process, because it is through the process that we learn lessons that we can apply for the future as a future reference for future events.
And also now that you've mentioned observers, somebody had mentioned the show feels like, you know, it is one-sided. We had invited a lot of people. Personally, I made invitations up to late night. Like Gordon, you see the way he came, I invited him like 10 p.m. in the night. A lot of people were seeing that when they wake up at 3 a.m. to browse, so some of them did not. I sent invitations the whole day yesterday. A lot of my Azimio friends, I have very good friends in Azimio. I sent them invitations. Some of them responded and said, especially the ones who are in diaspora, there are 2 of them who told me it's a little bit late, we might not join. Others who are also Kenya Kwanza people. So indeed, we do send out invites to everybody across the political divide. So sometimes we can say maybe some people might feel that they are not really in the mood. Right now, it's a tense mood for people in the Azimio side. But here on the tacklers who know this show, Azimio people are home here. So it is sad that today's show was a little bit one-sided. But as you know, Arama, that's normally not the case. There's always a balance. It's only that there's a bit of a sour feeling right now. So you cannot push somebody so much that come to the show. And maybe they're not feeling up to a debate. But indeed, we do try our best to make sure it's balanced.
All right. So, fellow tacklers, thank you so much for being with us. We've gone a little bit over time, but I believe it's important for us to express ourselves. And I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much, guys, at the studio, our technical crew. I always appreciate you guys. I know what you do and what you go through. So I really appreciate, I'm always on that side of the table also. So I know what it takes to be there. Thank you so much, Bwana Gerald. Waendelea kuhaso mali unahaso saizi. Alafu urudi hapa upatie Mso mug, sio kikombe ya kahawa. Sasa umletee mug na tumaamri 2-3 hivi. So thank you so much, guys. Looking forward to have Sheria Wiki hii on Friday. And for now, the Diaspora Tackle show ends now. Thank you so much.